That's so
state
fucking
woke up in a
weird,
haze.
dude.
Yep, those guys.
Do we have Donald Trump calling Kansas, actually?
Kansas.
I'm not sure if we do. I don't think we do.
I'm not sure that made his list.
I'm not sure that we have Kansas.
Nah, I don't
We got Colorado and New
So
York.
Troy's new.
We do have Colorado. Oh, right. Well, let's have Donald Trump actually calling some electoral. Let's do the short version for Colorado.
Well,
Colorado being called by Donald Trump for. It's Trump. Colorado, you just voted like some dopes. High on edibles, cause you smoke drugs.
Cause you smoke
They do.
drugs.
He just nailed the
Watch
point.
yourself.
It's very factual.
You've been activated.
See, but
Think twice if you need backup.
You need to
Like-
My shirt
restart.
busting open.
Yeah, no, it's just like your strap is pulling.
Like we were just
can't
talking
see
about
it.
Colorado Road to El Dorado.
Oh
Hey,
my
sexy.
gosh.
I don't know if you guys can see this.
Why don't you
I don't
cover
know if
that
you can-
up?
I don't know, but I actually still
you're
have a
good.
scar from where I a burn
put
from where
Crowder?
I dropped the cigar in my hand. I fell asleep when I was outside in a zero gravity chair, and I had a cigar in my mouth, and I fell
Dude,
asleep.
you need to
and
take
I
the
went,
fucking delay off, dude.
and woke up, and Joe Lewis actually leapt.
Is that going to be worse than
Can't
the
you
scar
know
or
how
whatever
to?
I'll have from being shot?
London is waiting for you
don't worry.
to fight the good
Spartan Armor
fight.
is a good
Weird.
product.
You're dead sick, aren't you?
Spartan Armor is a
Maybe you can help
fantastic
me.
product, which actually
do what we can.
should probably
What's the matter?
Yeah,
at this
you're
point
Here's
go to
the
our
thing.
first actually
I got involved with some smugglers
Finnegan.
playing
Right.
Killer. There was nothing to it,
And then he comes
but
back to me.
smuggling some cheese from the Netherlands, French
So
wine,
Thomas Finnegan is
easy
actually
money.
Put a
setting
sub
up these
button
how
up there
quick
if
it
you
is
were
right
counting,
now.
bro.
But
to
now I'm
shoot
overseeing a shipment of
Gerald
guns coming into
for
the
our
city.
local sponsor, Spartan
Go on.
Armor.
I'm
Thomas
sick of
Finnegan,
this
take it away,
shit.
sir.
I want to
Hi,
walk away
Steven.
from this.
Yeah,
I have to
we're
do
really
something
excited
first.
to try this out.
Need to make sure
we
those
spent a
guns
lot
are
of time
destroyed
preparing
before
this
they ever hit the
segment,
streets.
And
Can't
we're
do it
really
without
curious
your
to see
help.
how this armor
All
holds
right.
up.
Okay,
Leave
well,
it to
that's
us.
fantastic. I don't know if you have
Cheers.
any predictions.
Listen, help me
okay,
with
well, I
this,
guess
and
that's
I'll
it.
return the favour.
gone.
I
He's
always
left,
do.
yeah.
His feet could. Oh, I want to see Dana Bash. I want to see what she's doing because look, she's like.
That's a good Dana Bash. Yeah. I feel like every day her cheekbones get higher and larger. Like they're just slowly distorting.
I feel like every day she makes a pencil disappear in someone's eye.
Eventually, they'll be her shoulder blades.
Yes.
Her cheekbones will just be.
Dana Bash. She looks like a confused owl.
Can you guys see the little map down there in the very bottom of the CNN map?
Yeah, they fill in so little.
They've got like nothing filled
They got
in.
nothing filled in because they don't want to demoralize people.
It's probably just going to come down to what we always thought it would come down to. That blue wall up there. That really.
Hold on a second. Go screw yourself. You never said it was going to come down to that blue wall. You said Donald Trump's going to lose North Carolina. Donald Trump looks like he's going to lose Georgia. Certainly Arizona. You didn't even have, if you were to actually look at the 270 to win RCP map, they weren't even listed as toss-ups. You had Arizona listed
You
as
have arrived at
blue.
Brokatech, lead innovators in software and AI technology. Founded.
When they scrolled out, actually, I think she's tuned into the stream to try and get new advice.
Is she tuned into the stream?
Yeah, she might be.
Let me see. So Florida, they had Biden at +9. There were polls within the last week. Quinnipiac, right? Quinnipiac. Fuck you. Had him up by 5. Let's go to North Carolina. Let's see what's going on here. Hold on a second. You know,
North
I guess
Carolina
RCP
is
map.
retarded.
Are we still
close,
able
bro.
to mirror my thing?
Yeah, if you just mirror to the
Is it not mirroring? Okay, you know
By the way,
what?
Donald Trump in Florida, like 370,000 votes ahead.
Okay, don't bring it up yet. I'll tell you when to bring it up because right now there's
Keeps
fat
going.
people porn.
No.
It was for a skit.
Right. Actually, because I could
tried to help
Apple
you.
TV
mean
play
a
it out in the
sketch.
control room.
They can't
We
get away.
got studio.
All right, so here, let's go right now. I want to make sure this is 2020 because sometimes they can. No, is that 2016? That's 2020.
2020,
okay.
yeah.
So they were saying now they're saying like, oh, it's going to come down to that blue wall. Really? Well, let's look at Georgia. Georgia, okay, you have Trump at +1 now, but that's only because of the last, literally from the 29th to today. Before that, you had Biden +2, +4. The only one that had Trump ahead was Emerson and WSCB Landmark. You had Biden +2, +7 from Quinnipiac. Remember when Quinnipiac was thought of as the gold standard of
it was
polls?
the poll, yeah.
It was always Quinnipiac. It was Reuters. It was Monmouth. And then you have people. So for some reason, WSB TV Landmark, I assume that's a local poll.
Yeah.
Atlanta
numbers.
Journal, again, just like we see now, you have Quinnipiac up +3. Right, you have Biden. You have him all the way up +8 for a while. Listen, and by the way, they are definitely massaging these numbers because we did not see these kinds of numbers favoring Trump when we were looking at them for a long time.
close.
Let's look at North Carolina here. Let me bring this up and look at North Carolina from what is this still? This is still on Georgia, Trump versus Biden. Let me look up North Carolina. You know what this might be doing? Actually, this might be showing a 4-person race. versus a 2-person. So North Carolina, look, they have Trump up at +2. But what do they have? They had him Biden +6,
every time, yeah.
+6. They had him +4, +5, +1, +4. Look at this. It's not even close. And the only reason that they gave Trump a slight advantage is because of the Insider Advantage poll, which they discredited, by the way. Remember they said Trafalgar, Insider Advantage, Rasmussen. These are
Donald
outlier
Trump's
polls.
pulling away in
We're seeing it
Texas.
again. They've been right in these states.
Yeah.
They've been right in these states. That was +4.
He's pulling away
where
in
they had
Michigan.
Biden
Holy
+2,
shit.
How does this happen? How does it go
Pulling away
on
in
October
Wisconsin?
30th? From October
Pennsylvania
23rd
is
to
narrowed
October
by a
30th,
lot, dude.
Biden
Holy
+6
shit,
by CNN,
dude. You might be
NBC
right,
News,
Troy.
Go from +6 to nothing. And now they're going, it comes down to this blue wall, but you didn't say it came down to the blue wall.
And Virginia's wrong.
You said that
Virginia
Donald
is
Trump had to
Trump's.
run the board
That
and get
looks
an
weird.
inside straight, blah, 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 blah. And now you're going, Donald Trump, it's really going to come down to the place that Donald Trump surprised you by winning last time. It could go anyway. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is going to win, but even the editorializing here makes me want to open up this 102 waterfowl.
Go ahead.
Delicious.
Aaron,
Now,
you're
can I
gone.
take an
This
opportunity?
huge-ass bottle.
It is.
I do want to take a quick opportunity. My understanding is that I think Ilhan Omar has won re-election, and if anything, that very much solidifies that Gerald's map was made by someone with 0 brain cells because he chose Minnesota to go Trump. I think he's wrong.
I
You
can
never
confirm.
go full Jesse Ventura.
Ilhan Omar has won re-election.
Ilhan Omar. This district is mine now. It belongs to me.
We'll see. Well, it's not
Wait, is
over
that
yet.
her or the brother?
No. You married your brother? No.
Say it so.
So are we going to send her a cookie bouquet or what?
I don't know. I don't know. Do they make halal cookies?
I'm sure they do.
Probably.
Don't be insensitive.
What's funny about her is I would imagine she's a non-observant Muslim where she doesn't eat
Yeah.
halal, but she still commits terrorism.
Well, there's only some things.
Pick and choose. She's a cafeteria
Right.
Muslim.
Yeah, I think the whole like marrying your brother and then another dude and then cheating on that dude with a married guy. I think that only the men are allowed to do that in Islam, right?
Let's say
Isn't
you
that,
think
like,
so. I think there's
divorce,
like-
divorce,
there's
divorce.
Yeah, yeah. Talak, talak, talak.
Yeah, I think that only
Yes.
works for the guy. So she may be. There may be some weird feminist brand of.
Which I think that they thought saying talak, talak, talak 3 times was more of a tongue twister than it was.
Yeah.
They thought it would be more of a
This is
burden
so hard.
for Muslims.
Oh.
Like, who wants to say who Piper pecked the pickle pecker peppers 3 times? And if he doesn't get it right, the clock restarts. He said, turns out they're going to do that a lot, especially when we promise to stone their ex-wives to death. Well, that's on us, but we can't change the holy text now.
Again.
I never thought of it as a tongue twister. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everything can be fine.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're seeing more in Ohio now. I mean, granted, I'm mostly looking at CNN because it's just what you're forcing me to watch right now. And
Yeah, well, we can also switch between streams. Guys out there in the
can.
control room. Hey, can we, real quick before you go on, can we go to Men at Work? Can we see, let's go to the people out there, what they're doing. Let's hit Men at Work and see what's going on out there. Hey, Brendan. You getting ready to get attacked by a dog when we call Wisconsin? Is anyone else there? All right, thanks. This has been Men at Work. That's been very nice. It's so dark out
I
there.
thought that was
so
very
dark.
dark.
it is extreme.
It's a party.
I think they're actually just sleeping.
Yeah, they're just they're waiting. They're not paying
They
attention
were
at all.
really excited to like lock us in this room and be like, "All right, guys, watch
They're away.
CNN for
So,
6
folks,
hours."
you can tweet me at @SCrowder, and again, the hashtag is Crowder Election Stream. If there are any particular meltdowns that you think we need to tune into, let us know, or in the Blaze chat. If it's NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, Young Turks, Vox, I don't know, New York Times, Nate Silver, because I always particularly like my meltdowns to involve what looks like an Uncle Fester bald cap. Please, just let us know, and then we can tune into that. But you were saying something, Half Asian.
What we were looking at was Ohio, still again a little bit behind. But when you look at Ohio and where they're at on the number of votes, it's slowly creeping up in terms of evening out on that number. So that means you again had that big influx of early voting, which only accounted for I think 40 to 50% of the vote in Ohio, much lower than you saw in North Carolina, which was 75%, and in other states which were north of 50. So you didn't even have that much more you needed to catch up in Ohio. So it's starting to trend again more in that direction that you were pointing to. You didn't have you had a bunch, but you didn't have enough early voting to counteract the number of people that are coming in from the votes today.
So let me ask you this, Reg, because you're looking at the New York Times needle.
Yeah.
Florida, and from what they're saying, North Carolina and Georgia, that seems to all track with what I told people today with the early voting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me see if I can pull up here. There.
And hold on one second.
Yeah.
Everyone here knows that I'm a comedian, correct?
Yes.
Oh, really?
So the fact that I was able to find any of this information, now, like I've said, this number remains to be seen. The number was, I've always said, pretty definitive on Florida and Ohio, and I felt pretty confident, pretty definitive on North Carolina, Georgia, and ultimately Arizona. And we're seeing right now, certainly Florida, that already happened, what the New York Times is saying with Georgia, North Carolina. It doesn't determine exactly what's going to happen in that blue wall. That still is anyone's game.
Yeah.
But again, if I'm right, and we are right thus far with the other states, that means that Biden is going to have to run. He's going to have to tune up Donald Trump in all of those states. I'm a comic. Folks, out of everyone who's on this stream tonight, I should rightfully be the least respected among all of us. This just tells you that the media is lazy and they're not doing their job. And so please do consider joining Mug Club at louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club, because I'll tell you what, I might be a simp. I might have accidentally said North Carolina when I meant Virginia. Come on, Charlotte and Asheville, Charlottesville, it's easy. But either way, someone's getting hit by a challenger. The point is, I really do some work because I'm a simp, so I work a little bit harder. And I'm telling you what, I think I'm right. I'm right about that. I don't know who's going to win, but I've been right about those things. What were you about to say there, Reg?
Yeah, first of all, I think simp, if you're using it as an abbreviation for like simpleton or whatever, that would be non-standard usage. I can tell you. It's a simp is someone who kind of makes a big deal of girls on the internet and idolizes them. But
What? No, is this shut up. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring this up.
Reg
That
is
must
gonna
be-
explain
that must
memes
be
to you.
Urban
He's right.
Dictionary.
Wade?
Wade, audio Wade.
ruling?
What have you heard with simp?
He's wrong. I don't know anything about memes.
okay.
This
Reg
is
is
the
correct.
internet.
Not in the book.
What does simp
I don't
mean
use
to
the
you,
internet.
audio Wade? How about this?
Simpleton.
How about this?
Sure.
Fence-sitting pussy? Give me an answer.
I don't know anything about internet
It
language.
can mean both. I'm saying in modern vernacular that the sort of Zoomer class uses, a simp means someone who is very desperate for women and gives them a lot of attention. Obviously, yes,
That's
there
on
is the
Wiktionary.
more antiquated usage of simp. As we
Wiktionary has spoken.
Oh, by the way, a short history of simp. Now it says in the New York Times, an insult takes a dizzying trip through rap, men's rights, misogyny, and TikTok. So you know what? Fine. I meant
I'm
simple.
waiting for the chat to
I
just-
meant
Well,
simpleton.
The point that I was trying to make was that you are correct on what's important, which is the there are a whole bunch of different New York Times little needles, but what interests me is the probability one here. If we can bring that up, we have Florida with 93% reported.
Still
over
not
90
called. Still not called.
Over 95%, but most
holding out.
networks are calling that. Now Georgia is 47% reported, 83% Trump, and then North Carolina 82% reported and over 95% Trump. That looks like he's probably got it in the bag.
Wait,
so
which one? Hold on a second. I want to see the. I'm going to bring
Georgia
up
and
the
North Carolina.
RCP general
Michigan.
election.
Let's go, baby.
Well, hold on a second. If we're using the 2016 general election, it would have been the four-way race, right?
Correct. You had Joel Stein.
Yeah. With that other guy, Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson.
Let me keep talking there, Reg. Someone else. I'm trying to
hold on.
find.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is
Trump
that
pulled ahead in Texas.
it's only looking better in Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina as the night goes on. And so I think we can see a lot more of that. I think, again, you guys made fun of me about Virginia, but I think it's going to be closer there than people expect. I think Trump is going to do a lot better
In
even
Virginia?
In a state like Virginia.
They made fun of
I
me
mean, look
for
at the
that.
numbers right
Okay,
now on
so
CNN. It's 56, 41, 45% reported on CNN, which is at least 7 to 9 hours behind for Virginia. So
Let's call it a solid
But
day.
even there, look, I'll call myself out, which is when looking at Michigan, I mean, Biden's going to have to do a lot better if I'm going to win this prediction that Michigan's going to win. Or that Biden's going to win Michigan. Yeah.
Is there a way to? How do I find results here for 2016? I'm trying to find these right now.
If you're looking at mainstream media and you're trying to find anti-Biden results, you're not going to
Yeah, it's
find
gonna
them.
be real.
So Donald Trump won Florida by 1.4 points. Is that right?
2016, that sounds about right.
1.4, and now they're predicting him by 3.2. Donald Trump won Georgia by about 5 points. What are they predicting him tonight in New York Times?
Yeah, he is up in the New York Times by 3.
Okay, he is up in the New York Times by 3. All right, well, listen, we will go right back to that. But right now, we actually have to go to our next guest, one of my favorite guests. I want to make sure I have the plug right. What's the plug here for the do I have plugs for the guests? I know it's Game Bred Fighter, right? Game Bred Fighter on YouTube and on Instagram and on the Twitter. And he is an American who has ties, roots in Cuba with his family, but I don't want to call him a Cuban American because he might hurt me.
Right.
And he's been on the show, and he has played a pivotal role in, of course, Florida, which we've already called for Donald Trump. Jorge Masvidal, how are you, sir? How good do you feel now that Florida went to your guy?
I want more. I should have been redder, if you ask me.
Well, it's almost 2 times the amount of last election. So he'll probably win Florida by over 3 points. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't actually. I thought we'd turn it a little harder. I think we did good. I was talking a lot to the people that run the internal polls in Miami, and they were ready to lose Miami by a lot more than what they ended up losing by. I think with Hillary they lost by like 300 and something thousand.
Hey, Jorge, we love your beard, but can you angle the camera up a little bit because it looks like you look like a reverse Wilson. There you go. Okay.
There's a hat.
Very nice. Let me ask you: Do you think that Donald Trump wins tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's a pick, my brother.
What states do you think he wins? But as far as in the Midwest, because you have Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then you have Michigan, Pennsylvania. What would you call for Donald Trump? Because that's what it'll come down to.
I'm putting money on Pennsylvania. I got some inside sources. While I was at the Trump rally in Florida, Pennsylvania, I'm betting money on Pennsylvania if anybody want to take me up on the bet.
I have all the
I'm also betting Arizona, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I think Arizona for sure, especially because if you look at how the Latino vote went in Florida and we've seen in Texas, Arizona is actually, I mean, people thought that, Arizona is going to be further out of reach for Donald Trump. I think, if anything, it might even be better because, again, people see Latinos as one demographic, as a monolith. For example, Jorge Masvidal, let people know here, how different is a Cuban American's, for lack of a better word, but a Cuban American outlook, how different would it be from a Mexican American outlook? Or let's say a South American, let's say like a Chilean American outlook, or else like a Cuban American versus a Mexican American outlook. How different are they? Should they be in the same category, which is what pollsters do?
Politically wise, like an ideology and stuff like that.
Yeah. Who's that there with you? LwC?
We got some friends. One of my training partners and my father's here. You guys met my father.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I haven't met your father. Did he enjoy the cigars that we sent?
Oh, he loves the cigars. Take it, mandó todos los cigarros. He's smoking one right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, your father looks young.
Yeah, man. He ain't doing too bad for himself.
He also looks very white.
Little light skin, yeah. You gotta say.
I was expecting the camera to turn over and have like a Jorge, not Jorge, have a little bit of a Yoel Romero, like, I love cigar! I have cigar for you! Okay, so Cuban Americans versus Mexican Americans, because you're all put in the same category. Latinos.
Big difference, you know. Big difference on the politics, on how the taxes go. Like a lot of these South American and Central American countries, they don't mind having these crazy high taxes. Right off rip, the Cubans will tell you they're conservative as hell with their money. You know, they don't want to play these games where we're going to give more money to the government for what? To rely on what? We've already seen what that does in places like Cuba and Venezuela, that they promise healthcare for everybody and fix nobody. So it's harder to convince a Cuban to swallow that pill. That the more you pay taxes, it's going to be better for you. Right off rip, they're already like little hesitant, you know. And always against anything socialist. If they're socializing too much stuff, they already start to get very worried.
Yeah.
My father's just one example, but all my aunts and uncles are always talking to me about this on how it scares them and why it scares them so much.
You know what's interesting is that you brought that up. I think that's the main difference. So when I did this video yesterday, or was uploaded yesterday, where I asked people about Donald Trump being a racist, there was a Mexican lady who said, well, he hates Mexicans. And she said to me, and we might upload this interview separately, Audio Wade was there. She said, in Mexico, the government, they can arrest you if you speak out. And I said, well, it's terrible shit, especially if you're wealthy. I said, what do you mean? She said, because then they can take more money from you. So they try to vilify the wealthy. And I said, oh, do you see that happening here? She said, well, that's a really good point. I said, so do you understand like the difference between a massive socialized government? She said, Mexico's not socialist. So here's the big difference. They see Mexico as a corrupt, crappy country, but the government tries to claim that it's not socialist. Whereas I think with Cuban Americans, it's been very clear, hey, why are things so bad? Your government keeps saying socialism. So you guys were fleeing, meaning Cuban Americans, your father there, fleeing an actual government that persecuted you for speaking out against socialism. Current Mexicans are just fleeing a crappy economy. And so I don't think there's as much of a resistance to socialism because they don't connect those dots. Do you think that may be a part of it?
That's one good way to put it. It's actually a lot of Mexicans will say their government is corrupt. They don't have faith in the system. The politicians are all bought out, but they're not against socialism as hard as we go. You know, I mean, you ask any Cuban, and it's like the worst thing you could call them. You know, is a communist or dictator, anything like that. You know, so if you come to Miami, you want to piss off a Cuban, that's what you say. You know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do that when I get my concealed carry permit, and I just feel like I want to go down. It'll be not suicide by cop fire. It'll be suicide by Cubans, and I'll just go, socialistas! And then see what happens. All right, listen, Jorge, we can't have you on super long tonight because we have a lot to get to, but I appreciate it, brother. It's Game Bred Fighter. Where do you want people to follow you most, YouTube or Instagram? Like, what's your best place?
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We're always putting up content, fighting-related content. Anything, man, on all the websites. So on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Absolutely. And we will have you back soon. And next time we'll have you build a raft for us. Jorge Masvidal, thank you so much. We'll see you, brother. Let him go because he'll get mad at me and hurt me. Did anything happen here while we were talking with Jorge? Any new updates there?
So the Vegas odds have flipped to Trump.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if someone can pull it up. But
Wait, hold on a second. Deja vu.
I feel like it's earlier in the night than last time.
Oh, it's way earlier.
Yeah.
What did they flip it? What did the Vegas odds flip to?
Someone's got to pull it up. I just had a little bit of a message on it. So, yeah, we're going to pull it up and take a look. So
yeah, I think it's 64 for Trump, 36 for Biden.
Wow. And watch those odds change dramatically when they call Georgia, North Carolina, and Ohio for Trump, and they will. I'm willing to bet it'll probably go to about 75 Trump.
Yeah. By the way, the odds, if you saw the stock market today, do you think the stock market's going to go up if they think Joe Biden's going to come in and change tax policy and close down the economy?
I actually do because they've backed Joe Biden.
They have backed Joe Biden, but they're putting their money where it's going to grow. Like if he comes in and takes away Donald Trump's tax policy, do you think that's going to grow the economy or slow it down? If he comes in and closes down the country, is it going to grow or slow down?
It doesn't matter. It could be better for big banks. That's the thing. It could be. Here's the thing. Joe Biden is better for big companies. Think about this for a second, everybody who's watching. And by the way, please do consider joining Mug Club. LouderWithCrowder.com/Mug Club. It's what allows us to do this. All of this is free tonight. We have a couple of sponsors, Black Rifle Coffee and Spartan Armor, but we give the rest to you. And of course, every day you get like 45 minutes to an hour of extra content, and the kind of content that you can never see on YouTube. And if not, just please hit the notification bell because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot on YouTube. We're going to be bringing Betty out soon after a commercial break where I pee. But think about this for a second. I'm doing the Jorge Masvidal. Yeah. By the way, you think there might have been something rolled in that cigar a little bit?
Oh boy.
Hopefully, no random out of contest testing. Yeah. And by the way, I say this: Jorge Masvidal, to know him is like the guy was a blast to have around. He was great, really warm. Here's one thing I will say with Jorge Masvidal. There's a little bit of that ember beneath the surface where you're like, you know, if you actually say the wrong thing. Like we've been around people like Daniel Cormier, George St. Pierre, Jake Shields is that way too, but Chael Sonnen. But George St. Pierre and Chael Sonnen, who've been on the show, if there were an altercation, they'd probably like back away, alert and authority. Jorge Masvidal's not that guy, but he's not a bully at all. But he's so warm. He's so warm and inviting, and he was so nice. And his manager was fantastic. But you can tell, like, don't please, God, don't piss him off. Think about this for a second, though. We are, for the first time in modern American history, a net energy exporter. We are energy independent, right? And our carbon emissions are lower than when Obama left office.
Sounds terrible.
Now, I know people will say that, well, emissions were going down faster from Barack Obama, and that is true. They were going down faster, but with the side effect of crippling the economy. Right? With Donald Trump, they've still gone down mostly, but we literally are entirely energy independent, and we have under $2 gas, which the moron Newt Gingrich, and I say that because I don't like him. Newt Gingrich is the perfect example of the swamp. Went in worth $30,000, left government office worth $35 million.
Oh, nice.
But when you look at he wanted to campaign on $2 gas. So we have $2 gas. We have more jobs. We have more American jobs as it relates to energy than ever before. Because of fracking, we've reduced coal. We've reduced our carbon emissions significantly. We're not even in the Paris Accord. Kyoto Protocol, Paris Accord. Yeah. Montreal Agreement, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Accord. I used to have to follow this because I used to get hung on those words all the time. It's the same thing. It's the same bullshit. New country that doesn't matter. Or city. Think about that for a second. Now, can anyone out there name me a more green-minded company than Tesla? Anyone? Than Elon Musk?
North Carolina
They're moving from California
is red
to
again.
Texas. So we have a country where we've reduced regulations, where
Ohio
we've increased fracking,
winning
where
by
we've actually
4
decreased the
percentage
cost of gas. We now are a net energy
Michigan, he's pulling
exporter,
away.
and our carbon emissions are down. And there is not a state in the union with not only more green incentives, but crippling punishments and tariffs and fines on businesses that don't cooperate. They used to have a law, I don't know if they still do in California, where you could only have a certain allotment of SUVs on the lot because
probably not going to win
more
Arizona.
Americans wanted SUVs at that point before they had skyrocketing gas prices. And still,
It's got Texas.
Tesla leaves California to Texas. What do you think is what do you think is better for the environment long term? Also, what do you think is better for the environment long term? Because Saudi Arabia, they're irrelevant. Places that don't have the EPA. It is remarkable to me. No one ever talks about that. We have more energy jobs.
Is that one of your
we're
chicks?
energy independent, and our carbon emissions are, I believe, the second lowest of any year. They went up slightly, I think, one of the years, but they're still damn low. No one talks about it.
I'm excited this game. This
What
looks
no one
fun,
talks
actually.
about is we're the world leader in
How much is
clean
it? 60?
technology. So again, not just vehicles, but think about even in oil and gas.
And you have to trust me, you know?
Gas or
So,
energy itself.
I'm gonna
There's
send you
so
another photo
many
for our
different companies.
contract.
It's not on-
in the States. Even the ones that
Let's
are
just
kind of
get to know
the
each other a
brand
little
names,
better.
your
What makes you
your
so sure these
Shells, your
contracts
whatever.
It's
Even
not
though
on
some
Steam.
of those are
You
European
have to buy it
companies
through
as well, but when
Ubisoft.
you look at
There
the
you
West,
go.
including the United
Asking the
States,
right
the number of
questions.
scientists,
Trust me.
laboratories, government
I
funded,
do my research.
or
I
just
know
forget that
capitalism
inside out, and
fueled
they're all part of the
innovation
problem.
to try and make this work. Look,
London,
some
the
of the
world
biggest
will be much
people
better off
supporting the
with our help.
environment are
Now,
hunters, are
if you'll excuse
conservationists,
me,
are people who
I have to
are
move this twat
in the
before
gun
he gets his
industry,
strength back.
and folks who want to
Assassin's Creed.
preserve these outdoor areas. But how are you going to come up with it?
Yeah.
Is it the Postal Service that's going
What
to come
else
up with this
after that?
technology? Or is it your Elon Musk's? Is it going to be your other companies in America that have the freedom to be able to do it? And where are they going to do it? In California, where half the state is on fire and the other half is falling into the ocean? Or in Texas, where they're welcomed with open arms?
Or Greta Thunberg's lovely homeland, where half of all able-bodied men don't.
He's got
work.
Pennsylvania,
Now,
Troy.
speaking of the whole energy, and we
Yeah.
talked about fracking with Joe Biden
4
might be an
points,
issue
he's
in
ahead.
Pennsylvania. So we've got 40 to 47% of the votes in Pennsylvania.
That's
and
insane,
Trump is up by 2
dude.
points, 50% to 48. So it's still early, but that
Yeah.
looks good to me.
That still really early. So
It's
I don't wanna
crushed
say-
in
It's
Michigan.
that mail-in
He's
vote.
crushing
It's
Wisconsin.
that early vote, so he's really going to have to outperform.
I don't want to count
He's
those
he's
pipelines.
doing
No,
good in
no,
Ohio. Yeah,
Hey,
he's
so I think
77%
we're
done.
hearing,
He's
it
4
was
points
tweeted
ahead.
By Jeff Mitchell was saying that Fox
Te-
and CNN walking back.
He has
Virginia,
to
now
win.
they're coming back
He's got to
again.
win Texas, though.
There's some flipping
Gotta
and
pull
flopping
away
here
in
the last
Texas,
few
man.
minutes. I don't know if Reg, you can look.
I
it
don't
up.
know, man.
Virginia might
If
be
I
in
see
play.
that thing turn
There's
blue, I'm gonna be
some-
scared.
There's some question about
Because
how
there's
the
no
numbers
way he
they
can
were
win
calling
without
it for
Texas.
Biden, but now
Zero.
Trump's
0%
numbers are huge
chance,
again.
and you know
I don't
it.
know if there's some kind of technical slip up, but
So
I mean,
He's gotta make
here's
Biden
the
have
deal.
nightmares.
this is crazy.
So here's the deal with Virginia.
Virginia is
The thing
still
about
weird to me.
Virginia
I don't
is
know what's
that
going on with Virginia.
The mail-in votes do not even start being counted until 7 p.m.
Crowder?
And then they're counted till 11. So the results that you have early on are the in-person day of. And so I think that's why they tried to call it so early. They thought, well, we can call this, but let's look at the lead here because Trump, it could be that he's getting enough of a lead. If you go over to CNN,
Right.
they have not called Virginia
No.
for Biden.
And by the way,
And
that's
so-
50 minutes that they have left to count?
Right.
So it's 10, 11.
And Arizona right now, Arizona doesn't look very good for Donald Trump, but I don't know
Super
what they're
early.
counting first. I think that, no, I think they have they're saying 80%.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
Of Arizona.
That's high.
Yeah, that's, I mean, 80. Hold on a second, but 80% in and a 10-point spread, an 11-point spread. Something tells me that they
And
haven't
too early
counted
to
some
call.
serious counties there.
Yeah, they're saying if it's
Yeah,
too
if
early
it's
to call it that
80%,
spread.
that must mean, do we know which counties have not been? Because people in Arizona
wish you
let us
voted
know,
Troy,
because that's
goddammit.
one of those things that seems weird. Kind of like the last go around with Florida, where Florida, I remember, looked really bad.
Yeah.
Alright,
when we were
Maryland
doing the
makes
live
sense again.
broadcast,
Right,
and then the Panhandle came through. I think we were on the line with Anthony Cumia when that happened, and we said, "Oh, wow, that's changing." So I know they just counted Maricopa County, which is where they expected Biden to do the best. And
Pretty-
I don't know if this
No,
is
not at all,
80%
actually.
of all
Let me tell you
Arizona.
about
Joe
What's the
Biden has
72%
Montana?
in
Really?
it?
Okay, all right. So maybe
Was that
we'll put that one
80%
down.
for Maricopa County? Can you let us know and fill us in there, Reg, in Arizona? Because I tell you what, it's one of those things. If it were close, and it was 70% in, you go, okay,
Trump
that's
now.
bad. But if it's a 10-point spread, that tells me that the overwhelming Trump counties have not been counted.
Destroy the quantum computer. That's the contract.
I would think so, yeah, because I don't think it's going to be nearly that big of a spread at the end of the day.
Well,
Even if he
Arizona
loses
hasn't
at
got
one
that
point,
big of a
2
spread
points.
for Republican or Democrat. I don't know ever in modern election history. So
I'll get the
fact that they're
Ubisoft
saying
thing, I
too early to
guess.
call-
Yeah.
Too early to call difference 218,000.
Yeah.
Now they also
You're gonna
may be
cancel it,
counting
Ray,
the
right?
early
We'll get to
voting
keep
in
the game.
Arizona, depending on the state. Again, this is why this matters. They may be calling the states. They may be counting
Yeah.
the mail-in votes
So-
first. Or
so
the
you play the
same-day
game, you
votes
play
first.
Assassin's
Which
Creed, and then you
state was it
cancel?
that counted the mail-in votes first? I think it was North Carolina, right? Where they counted the mail votes first pretty quickly, and Trump was ahead by 1.5, and now they're going to same-day voting. So
Yeah, generally they count the day the mail-in votes early. The Pennsylvania and I think Michigan are the flip. It seems sort of backwards to me.
Well,
Arizona, you can bring it up. You know,
What's it called again?
a little bit lower down there, you'll see that Phoenix. and
No,
Weston,
what's the game called
you
again?
know, these-
Tucson.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
well, hey, go ahead.
Really see it here.
Pizza California Pizza Kitchen.
But
Tuscan chicken sandwich.
Watch Dogs.
Flatbread.
yeah, I would assume those more rural areas
Watch Dogs
out
2?
there, the less densely populated, are going to be more red.
Right. Yeah, it's tough to see with Arizona. Well, Arizona could still go. Arizona
not
could go to
seeing
Joe
it.
Biden. That could be a surprise. And if that's the case, then we have a race in our hands. I would expect if Biden wins Arizona, for it to go back to about 50-50.
Yeah.
And then I think that if Trump wins North Carolina and Georgia, I would expect the betting odds to probably go back to maybe 60-40.
And there's been a little flip-flop, so depending on what particular site that you're looking at for the Vegas odds, there was a little blip there around 8:15 Eastern where it flipped to being pro-Trump or Trump being favored, then it went back for about an hour, then it went to Trump again and has been kind of solidly Trump. Now, solidly Trump being that it's, they're saying that the odds are in his favor, but it's clear that those are shifting on 10 to 15-minute intervals depending on how these are coming in. And there's a lot still out there that
It's not on Steam, by the way.
Yeah, we don't know about. No new updates as far as I understand it. So I'm going to take this minute to do we have like a 2.5 minute break? 2.5 minute break. 2.5 minute break. Again, the promo code is Crowder Election Stream. Enjoy these
Is it
commercial
Uplay?
sketches, and I will be back
Uplay
in
is what
2
it's
minutes once my bladder has been cleared, and we will have more for you. Stay with us, not the other guys, because they lie.
Biden's catching up in Virginia.
Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you. Oh, who lives in a swamp right under the sea? Who sniffs your aunt's head and won't let her flee? Who touches your mom and gropes all the kids? Be sure not to tell your dad what I did. Horny? Biden, grab it. Biden, grab it. Biden, grab it. Biden, grab it.
So it was created by Mohammed bin Salman.
So just you gotta
Black Rifle Cook Fei.
No, I know.
Oh,
1 minute.
okay, folks. Frankly, it's the best
coffee out there? AR-15 coffee. M16 coffee. It's a coffee with Bazooka Joe. The coffee, look at the brand. Can we get the hero shot? Do they still make Bazooka Joe? It used to be a penny. Rifle of color coffee. This coffee should be dating a Kardashian, right? This coffee is the best coffee. Black Rifle coffee. And unlike other companies who claim small batch or premium, Black Rifle coffee isn't roasted, frankly, until you place your order, making sure it's the freshest coffee. Many people don't know it's a bean. It goes bad. Coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com/Crowder. Enter the promo code Crowder to receive 20% off your first order of Black Rifle coffee.
Sending location on a 10 suspect is
Great.
unsighted sweeping area.
Someone give me a Diet Coke.
So anyone not realizing how amazing Black Rifle Coffee is, how much they've done, you've got to go to blackriflecoffee.com/Crowder to get 20% off coffee, apparel, all the other things. Look, we know the CEO and founder, Evan Hafer. He's been doing this since 2014 after 20 years serving the U.S. Army. And just amazing stuff. The coffee, the story of bringing that together is amazing. And now Steven's going to come over here, serve me this water that I deserve, and I'm going to drink his sick water. So they've got.
I'm here. Don't tune out.
They've got.
Did you pronounce
Oh,
the
you're
S
saying
in
that
love?
they're going to tune out because I'm in the chair? Come on. No, but listen, seriously, when you think about Black Rifle Coffee, there are folks who are out there sponsoring a show that so many others in the world would not be willing to. So many other brands
They got
would
their
not
cojones.
touch with a 100-foot pole. These are people who would, I don't know. You don't even want to know those people. But
You're a natural. Next step is to wait for now to get back to us. But don't
literally
wait here.
go
That
to
would be a shit idea.
blackriflecoffee.com/Crowder, 20% off. And you'll be able to get these delivered by Christmas morning by having the holiday roast going to service members. blackriflecoffee.com/Crowder.
It's a great
and 20% off. So I don't know if we're seeing anything particularly exciting. One of the things I was going to say is from a technological standpoint, MSNBC Live has the crappiest touchscreen television. It's grainy.
Yeah.
It looks like what you would see an airplane in the traffic control center. It's got thick lines. It's terrible. I don't know if we've got some other streams that we can pull up. I almost want to go back
they're pretty bad.
to Old Man King and Wolf Blitzer and their Old Man Love.
They're pretty bad.
So
CNN looks at least
I'm
a
just
little
not
bit
liking
better
it,
than this.
But we're seeing some pretty
Glad to
interesting
establish a
things. I know the
foundation
Vegas
trust.
odds are switching up a little
I'm
bit.
ready to show you the contract
and
I'm
now
investigating.
I'm gonna give
Go
up
to
the
the
seat.
GBB.
You know what? Let's give it to them.
Shouldn't
give
have
it
any trouble
back.
finding
Did
her.
we hit the sponsor there for Black Rifle?
We did,
We
sir.
did.
He hit
All
him
right.
really
Oh, so
hard.
well.
I apologize, guys. This is one of those nose things.
Does it work?
Disgusting.
Yeah, it works really well.
You do this on air?
Allergy things.
No, just so people know, just so you know, I am very sick. Don't have the COVID, though. An actual sickness. Not that COVID isn't real. I would just rather be asymptomatic.
Right.
Yeah.
I would rather be asymptomatic. And I don't know about you guys, but I would take lung stuff. I would take... basically, the worst for me is throat stuff and the runs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Having to run to the
okay.
bathroom
I don't
every
mind
5
throwing
minutes.
up so much. I don't
good.
mind
Yeah, it's not too bad.
congestion, but the burning throat and the runs. Hey, by the way, you know what? We don't need to overcorrect. I was panicking. Apparently, we're doing well. People are enjoying the show. The stream is. Did you already get the?
The
Black
numbers are
Rifle?
pretty decent, yeah, but just make sure. I mean, tell people your favorite coffee from Black Rifle and give us that promo code one more time. Just toss it. Soon
But,
it'll be fine.
yeah, okay. Hold on a second. I'll toss this on the couch. Just don't lose it because I need it so I can breathe. My favorite is the vintage roast, by the way. The vintage roast from Black Rifle Coffee. This is the one that's not a black bag, but it is. They were out a little bit with COVID because it's pretty tough to source these beans. Fantastic medium roast. Works for espresso. Works well. I have a lot.
It's okay. Yeah.
Works well for espresso and works well. Don't tune out! Don't tune out! I'm just sick. And it works really well for drip coffee, so I do recommend that. And I like their sounds; they're smooth a whole lot. Listen, we have limited ads on this show. And a big reason is because of people who join up and support Mug Club. And another reason is just
He's
because
pulling
you might
away
run
in
ads for
Pennsylvania, bro.
something that I don't use or don't want.
Yeah. Love coffee, and for you to pick them.
Remember when Keeps came to me?
Yeah.
I
Like,
remember.
keep your hair. I said,
They should have come to me.
What?
Look, we've
I'm the one that needs
voted
it.
72 to 1 here at the company. Really, it's only like 15 to 1. That's how few people we have here.
Right.
15 to 1, Gerald being the one holdout that we would not let cuties run ads on this show.
It's true.
We really take it seriously. So,
Hey, by the way, I just heard that the Vegas betting odds are something like 2.7 to 1 for Donald Trump.
For Trump.
They changed? Yeah, they changed. Oh, boy. Someone who actually works over at the Blaze, who also works with the World Poker Series, said that it had changed quite a bit. Is there anything, by the way, before we go, what?
Trump has overtaken in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
that's big because he was down like 2 to 1.
Do we
for
see
now,
what this
for
is?
now.
What do we see
Overtaken.
now in Pennsylvania? And where should I be
just on the
looking here
bottom.
on my own screen, Reg? Where should I be looking to see any of these live results?
Yeah, I've been looking at the New York Times. If you want to see district by district, you can go to Politico, state by state. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Yeah.
Is there a specific thing that I should be typing in?
Oh, just Michigan.
New York Times election?
Yeah. Just the state and the New York Times, and it should pop up.
it's about the only thing
Okay.
anybody's
Donald,
talking about.
Yeah.
yeah, Donald Trump is also up in Michigan. It's only 35% of the vote.
That doesn't mean it depends on which county.
True.
Yeah.
Also, this is what I would like
Wayne
to see.
County is
because-
in for a pretty big number.
Oh, Wayne County's already
Not
in?
all of it. No, not all.
Wait,
of
hold on a
it.
second. If a good amount of Wayne County is
I
in
think
and
it was
Trump is
somewhere
ahead,
around 30-something%, 40-something.
Oh my God, that's a disaster.
But check me on that because I saw
that's a
Twitter at the
disaster.
bottom.
Oh, folks.
If you want to bring up
Oh,
Politico
folks.
breakdown.
Robin Williams, I'm saying, oh boy, that's a really big nightmare. I'll do my Southern preacher voice. Oh my God, that's a really big. And now I'll do my gay voice because I'm Robin. Oh, look. If you look at Wayne County, you look at the way they gerrymander, it looks like a big penis. Oh.
If somebody did that, that would actually be funny. If they gerrymandered into like a penis district, that'd be hilarious.
I think that's factually accurate.
Yeah, that's Robin.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
It's pretty true.
His golf thing was pretty funny.
One of my
Come on.
favorite is Artie Lang and Gilbert Gottfried. They said when Robin Williams killed himself, he used a nanus.
Ooh.
Oh. Boo.
My Lord. Come on. Just
So, you know what? I'm not gonna watch. Yeah, shut up. Come on. You think it's dark? Do you know what a big gaping crap hole our country is facing right now?
Right,
so,
yeah.
listen, there have been no new calls with states. So, this is one thing a lot of you folks may know, that I love dogs, and I love dogs because they're kind of different from elections and that they're honest. And Betty has been gone for a very long time. And you may have remembered, we received more backlash from this. You can bring up this B-roll, Quarter Black Garrett, where during Mug Club Quarantine, one of our shows was nothing
That was in the peak
but Betty
of toilet paper.
eating toilet
pandemic.
paper. And that was the peak of toilet paper pandemic when there was a shortage.
Yeah.
So when I had Betty loves toilet.
happening
Betty is a sweet dog. You all know Joe Louis. You love Joe Louis. But Betty was the most insubordinate dog there was. And having a dog who wanted to eat toilet paper, like I had read books, and what do? She keeps eating toilet paper. To spank her with the toilet paper, and she would whip around and grab the toilet paper from my hand while I was spanking her little butt with toilet paper before I could finish. This was in COVID. It would be like, and I'm not saying that it's comparable, but I do think it's comparable to the plight of Jews who had a baby in an attic who started crying. And